Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have an excellent game to share with you from 1996. On the white end, Garry Kasparov playing against Yasser Seirawan. Okay, the opening we work with here, a Queen's Gambit declined. Knight B7 is the Barmen variation. White supports an E4 advance, capture on C4, central majority rolls, central duo here immediately challenged. It's broken up successfully. D takes C. New piece out and about to recapture. Same story here for white. Prep work for B5. Does hit with tempo if in there. That's parried, but there's still a benefit in inserting A6, B5. Another way to look at it, B5 is simply under control. Queen can now post up to C7. That's what we see here, without fear of knight B5. Castles, knight G4, pop quiz. How would you respond here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, in the game we have H3. Before you can play H3, you have to weigh things very carefully. You have a vulnerable piece here on C4, X-rayed by the queen, unprotected bishop. Also, there's this intersection square on F2. An accident can occur there. That's how it's played out in the game. Black's response is knight captures F2 here. Now, I want to throw in a fun little tip here and share with you that H3 would be a losing move if this knight, this queen knight, was on C6. If it was on C6, white would be lost to the Siberian trap. Knight D4 would be there, forking these two pieces, looking to deflect the F3 knight away from H2. Mate is right around the corner. All right, not the case here, but something that's a little fun to note there. Black goes ahead again, captures here on F2. Now, what I found interesting is that either black knight can hop to this E5 square. If this knight goes here, you can first exchange and then play bishop E2 or switch that move order. Not a great difference there. You could also go with this knight in this position. And should this knight be captured, we would have a draw. This is not forced, by the way. White could take on E5 here and avoid some the perpetual that I'm about to share with you. But in such a position, if you take this knight, this is the draw I am referring to. Queen G3 check is there, exploiting the pin. Perpetual check from here. H3, G3. Okay, anyhow, some interesting tricks here after this knight and G4 move. After H3 in this game, it is knight captures F2. Let's see this dark square strategy in action. Rook captures knight, bishop takes rook. The queen does the recapturing. Queen captures bishop. Let's just pause for a moment. Where do we stand here? Kasparov is down the exchange and a pawn. Has, however, this killer dark square bishop. Immediately puts pressure on the dark squares. So this queen sliding over to recapture, that's just a very temporary pivot. She now hops to G3 and says, what are you doing about G7? Now, Seirawan's response here is F6. This is considered one of the best moves in the position. Let's consider other options here for black. First of all, if you play G6, bishop H6 is going to be extremely irritating. The presence of this dark square bishop will be felt. There will be no castling kingside. Your king is pretty much stuck in the center. If you're not going kingside, are you going to go queenside? You're asking for trouble going in that direction as well with all these pieces flying around. Knights on wonderful squares in this position here, their favorite squares. G6 not looking good. Also, castles runs into bishop H6. What are you doing about mate? You would have to play G6 here. Now, something worth noting here, even better than winning the exchange here, is to continue to develop. Computer's pointing out, bring that last piece into the attack, keep this bishop around. This is not a 3-point piece. This is a very strong piece. Just imagine getting that queen to g7. You don't have to go straight in and win that exchange back. Keep in mind, it's the exchange and a pawn that black has here, so don't be too quick to give that dark square bishop right back up. Follow-up moves from here, rook d1, e5, rook d4, knight e4, pulling that queenside piece into the attack. These are moves that you can be considering from here. g6, or excuse me, castles, not really an appealing move here, along with g6. In both cases, bishop h6 is there. King f8 here, okay, you're uncastled, the rook isn't looking so bright. How is it played in this game? At the end of the day, we see f6. Seirawan pitches that g7 pawn, has in his back pocket this timely check. King h1, staying off of this open diagonal, and now queen f8 as a resource. The position here remains, well, it's equal, let's say, from here after queen g4, but this is where the tables now turn significantly. Black's reply here is to defend with queen to f7. Now, this gives Kasparov a sort of free move, a wide range of options. Here's what the computer's looking at. You have two options. It says knight e5, defense mixed with attack, and also queen g8, defense and the offer of a queen exchange when you're up material and you have the more vulnerable king. That makes a lot of sense. It's looking at queen g8, queen h4, queen g6, and some battery idea here quickly on g2. How it's played here, it is just the defensive alone, queen f7. And now watch how these dark squares are exploited from here. e5 from here. This carves out the g5 square. Also opens up the fourth rank for the queen. Rook g8, queen c4, keeping pressure on something, keeping a restriction on the black queen. Has to watch over e6. You cannot just hop over here and try and form a battery for mate on g2. From here it's f5. Keeping the knight out of is e4 square. That would be a disaster. f6 is a hole. d6 is a hole. A knight on e4 would not be a three-pointer. Okay, where do we go from here? Bishop g5. Fantastic piece. What's this king supposed to do? It does not feel like white is down in such a position. This bishop worth far more than 3 here. From here we have h6. Kasparov's reply to this, he backs off, says, I'm not interested in your pawn. Just going to stay trained on this excellent diagonal, watching over a couple squares right next to your king. Computer points out that some advantage is lost in playing in this way. It says knight f8. You could sort of hang on for a little bit. It's looking at moves like this, knight d4 in such a position. It may be that a certain variation was missed here that's available to white after this capture on h6, or the train of thought could have been, I'm not interested in the pawn. I'm not interested in giving you a half-open file towards my king. I'm just going to stay on this diagonal. Now, computer does cite bishop captures pawn as best, and here's the detail. Queen g6 in this position, you can meet with bishop g5 without fear of this follow-up knight captures e5 to undermine the support of the bishop here on g5. If knight takes e5 in this position, queen c5 would be there. No time to chop the knight. There'd be mate. And there's a problem here on e5. Okay. How it plays out here, Kasparov does not bite on h6. Bishop h4 it is. Black does not find the best move here with knight to f8. Plays queen g6. Threatens mate. It's parried. Rook completely passive. We're going to see how this queen post is going to backfire shortly. There's a valuable tempo in white's future here. Follow up knight to f8. Queen b4. Mate on e7 is the threat. That's defended. And now we have knight to e2. Knight f4. Hitting the queen. b5 from here. A takes b. Rook d7, knight f4 with tempo. Look at the black pieces. Playing on 2 ranks here. This position is completely busted for black. The rook no longer needed here. Watching over the pawn. Look at how quickly things shift. Let's get the rook to an active square now. Bishop b7, b takes a, bishop takes knight. Double up on this pawn. It's gone from here. Rook now coming back over to this G file. Things have changed here now with the pawn on the F file. Open G file to work with. Rook takes A from here. And now knight to H5. Look at these dark squares. Fully exploited. Knight, bishop on F6, pawn there. Knight on H5, poison. Look at how it got here. Beautiful play here by Kasparov. No time to take the knight. Mate on e7. What's tried here, queen c7. Rook g7. 3 pieces now on that e7 square. A couple checks are inserted here. There is no perpetual. The bishop at this stage can fall back to block the check. And this one goes no further. Seirawan resigns. In this final position, there's no good way to defend against queen e7 mate. There's also a mate in 2 idea with knight f6, check, and then queen captures knight for mate. Beautiful game here. Excellent dark square strategy in action, giving up that exchange and a pawn, and then working with that deadly dark square bishop. Anyhow, what are your thoughts with this one? Feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.